Welcome back to our podcast series on local LLMs. Today, we're diving into part 2 of our exploration titled Training into the Bone.
I'm excited for this. Last time we talked about hardware setups, and now we're focusing on fine-tuning. It's such an important step.
Absolutely. So let's kick things off with a fundamental distinction that often gets overlooked: the difference between system prompts and fine-tuning.
Right. A system prompt is like a temporary reminder for the model, but it doesn't stick around after the session ends.
Exactly. Fine-tuning, on the other hand, adjusts the model's internal weights. It's like writing your preferences into the bone of the model.
That's a great analogy. So how do we go about achieving this fine-tuning?
There are 3 main methods, but only one is truly feasible for solo setups. Let's start with QLoRa.
QLoRa, or quantized low-rank adaptation, sounds interesting. What's the benefit of this method?
It allows you to add a thin layer of new behavior to the model without retraining it entirely. You can feed it your own documents, and it aligns with your workflow.
That's super convenient, and it only requires about 18 gigabytes of VRAM for a 26B model, right?
Exactly. It fits snugly on a single RTX 4090, which is great news for solo users.
What about the full fine-tune method? I know it updates every weight, but what are the drawbacks?
You're right. It requires a whopping 56 gigabytes of VRAM for a 26B model, and there's a risk of catastrophic forgetting.
That sounds risky. And what about reinforcement learning from human feedback?
RLHF involves rating the model's outputs based on your preferences, but it requires a team and extensive infrastructure.
So it's impractical for solo users. Speaking of hardware, how does training differ from inference?
Great question. Training requires significantly more memory, about 3 to 4 times more than inference.
Wow. So while QLoRa keeps the VRAM requirement manageable, what's the best setup for training?
A dual RTX 3090 setup is the real winner for training. With 48 gigabytes of combined VRAM, you can handle larger batch sizes.
That's impressive, and it allows for faster training, right?
Exactly. Plus, you can still achieve that quick inference time of around 2 seconds.
But here's a crucial tip. You need to make sure you're getting the RTX 3090, not the Ti variant.
Yes, NVIDIA removed NVLink support from the Ti variant, which slows down communication between GPUs.
That's a game changer. So, how do listeners get started with fine-tuning?
Getting started is straightforward. Tools like Unsloth for QLoRa and Olama for inference are great.
Just install the necessary packages, load your model, and feed it your workspace files?
Exactly. In just a few hours, your model will think the way you think. No reminders needed.
That's so exciting. I can't wait to see how our listeners dive into fine-tuning their own local LLMs.
That's it for today's episode. We hope you're feeling inspired.
Join us next time as we continue to explore the fascinating world of local language models.